Okay, so this one, it's kind of an air monitor. It utilizes really a lot of sensor that sense the air and the parameters and the parameters. It got a few things that it measured. It utilizes, okay, like we'll start here. Generally, the STM development board read all the sensors. Now here it's got a temperature and a humidity sensor, very simple one. This is it measures the VOC. It's a molecule, it's organic compound in the air. And this one measures the CO2. And this one, it's another one that measures the VOC in another way. And generally it reads from those sensors, and there are some more sensors, we will get to them. But mainly it reads from those sensors. First of all, he initialize them, he configure them. Okay, I also have a particle sensor here. It's got a fan inside, it pulls air and measure the particles and particle size in the air. So the STM initialize the sensors in the beginning. He also got a timer that once a week he got like kind of a cleaning fan mode that he for a few seconds drive the fan really hard to push dust. And in the usual working, he just reads the sensors, taking all the after he configures and initialized and started everything. He reads the sensors, taking the data and sending the data to ESP. The ESP generally used here for broadcast the data to a web server, and then I can open it on a browser and just read the information. I also have like a serial here inside to show in real time how it reads the data. And so this is what it generally do. Another thing, that this one is a closed source project, and so they don't give the algorithm. So the ESP, just for this one, it reads from here. The ESP reads from this one the data, but the STM does all the work. Also, I wrote myself the driver and library for all the sensors except for the Bosch, because it's a closed source code. So for everything else, I did all the configuration of the sensors and all the starting to work with them. You have an offset of the temperature to compensate on results, stuff like this. And this is most of the sensor. Now after it, I added. Okay, it's not connected now. Okay, this is generally a circuit for an oxygen sensor, which is not connected now, but it's an amplifier. It's amplifier, and we got here a double rail voltage and amplifier, and it reads an oxygen sensor. Just it's a consumable sensor, so I didn't connect it. Every time I don't use it, I put it on the side of the bag, because it's just so it is stay longer. And this one here, you got 3 sensors, which are very simple because they have their own circuit, and it just you don't have to configure or initialize. You just connect to them through UART. And so I have here a multiplexer that connected to the STM to a UART, and each time I read one of them, because I don't have a lot of UARTs to use, so I'm using a multiplexer. And this one I just read they just give data. You don't have to configure them or anything. They're pretty easy. This one just takes a lot of work. And that's it. Let's look at some results. So here it's the web. If you can see, I will try to refresh some data. Okay, and you can see that it updated like the CO2 from 435 421. Let's just test it. I will breathe on the CO2 sensor and we'll try to rise the CO2. And now let's try to see if already a measurement have been done. So just a second. It should rise. Okay, and you can see that it rises to 3,800. In a normal room you will have up to 1,000, maybe a bit more. So here you have the this is the VOC ones. You have the temperature, humidity. This is the VOC of this is the Bosch one. This is the other sensor. You got the VOC and also the NOx that you measure, CO2, and the particle measurement. This is the typical particle side, and this is like measuring in mass concentration. It's microgram to meter per in a third, like in cubic meter. And this is like holding the side to 1 micron, 2.5 micron, and like we can say then 2.5 micron we have 4.85 like microgram into cubic meter. And also we measure like in a given number, like in a number per centimeter cubic. And this is some parameter from the sensor that I use just to check that everything is okay for the Bosch. And it's less meters. And actually you can see here also on the serial the same result, but in real time, updating all the time. This is the particle meter, and this is the 3 sensors that measure ozone and carbon monoxide, and another one that's jumped. This is and okay, relative humidity, temperature. This is the VOC. And that's it. Generally I'm kind of it's working, and I'm putting it on the side and try to work with it, see how it goes. And in the future I will add to it some like indicator, like a buzzer or something that will let you know that if you need to change something. But for now it's like kind of on a run, like to test if it's working well. So this is like a few of the sensors I just took from some projects that I did before. I joined them all together. This is an idea that I got, and this is how I arrived to this.